Mr. Sridhar, fundamentally, the Supreme Court speaking up, yes, you could say that it has come 6 months too late, and perhaps it could have gone a little further. But a beginning has been made, which do you think will make the DMK come under some pressure or be forced to answer some basic questions?
Namaskaram, Rahul, and namaskaram to all my viewers. At the outset, very respectfully, I would like to state that the apex court, the Supreme Court, is not doing a great favor by taking up the case, because when a sitting minister of a government of Tamil Nadu says that Sanatana Dharma is akin to malaria, dengue, and calls all sorts of names, a sitting minister saying such names about a civilization, about a religion, and the cognizance being taken so late is not to be jubilant about. That said, well, better late than never. Second point, I don't think I would have been jubilant either if the remarks were of the apex court was made even 4 months before, because my jubilance is not if somebody reprimands Udhayanidhi Stalin. It is about the very thought process of this ideology which has been existing in the last 60, 70 years in the state of Tamil Nadu. Just not one statement, Rahul, maybe with the advent and the rise of the Indian media in the last 15, 20 years, and especially channels affording to make news, something that happened south of India in the last 10 years, people across the country make a hue and cry about these statements made by people belonging to the Dravidian ideology. But for the last 70 years, the Hindus in the state of Tamil Nadu have been at the brunt of taking all these statements. And your question was, Nupur Sharma was suspended. What will happen to Udhayanidhi Stalin? He will be garlanded. He will be given a title. He will be made an icon. He's already won. So I don't think you should be expecting any kind of suspension or dismissal. I think we'll be living in an utopian land if we expect so. Because the ideologue, Periyar, and all his followers have made obnoxious statements on the religion, about the deities, about the books. Books have been burnt. Idols have been broken, chappal malas have been drawn. What do you expect? Any etiquette from such people? So all that I can say is the Hindus of the state have to rise and have to give a befitting reply. It's not about abusing and coming on Twitter and writing on the wall. It is about saying enough is enough.
So let me bring in Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, does the DMK's reluctance to act against Udhayanidhi Stalin all these months, I mean, I don't think anyone anticipated the Supreme Court to say something different from what it has said today. It has brazened it out, as you know, over Udhayanidhi Stalin. And today, of course, you have seen the Supreme Court rebuking him roundly. Some people say he may not have gone further enough or far enough, but that's a different matter and it's a different debate. Given that, would you then agree to what the BJP says or others like Mr. Annamalai have said in the recent past, that there is state institutionalized bias against Hindus in Tamil Nadu?
Look, Rahul, the question of the DMK acting against Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin does not arise because Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin is the DMK. For all practical purposes, he is the chosen heir apparent to the chief minister and his father. So there is no question of the DMK acting against him. Second, the DMK has been saying pretty much the same thing for the last 50 to 60 years, including when the BJP at one point of time formed an alliance with them and they were members of the cabinet in Delhi. When too they have kept making the very same statements that they have made now. So I think it's a little bit thick to say suddenly now, yes, we want to sort of paint the DMK as an anti-Hindu party. I have no sympathies for the DMK. I think that some of the statements they have made are atrocious and deserve the strongest condemnation. But my point is they've been saying the same thing for the last 50 years and suddenly this becomes an issue. So clearly there is an attempt to politicize this. And anyway, what the Honorable Supreme Court has said today are observations made in the court. It's not an order or it's not a judgment. And they have, I think they've said that they would be hearing this case on next Friday, if I recall correctly. So I think that whether it is Mr. A. Raja, whether it is Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin or many others from the DMK, such statements have been made repeatedly. The late former Chief Minister, Mr. Khanna, once asked which engineering college Lord Ram studied in. So I think when the question was asked about the Ram Setu bridge, So I think that we have to understand that this issue at this particular point of time is being politicized. And in fact, the caption that you're putting here was Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, the DMK leader's response was to a tweet which I had actually put out, to a post that I had put out. He had responded with that. So much of it is unacceptable. But clearly the issue is being politicized.
But
The DMK will not do anything.
Dr. Raman, that could be said about a large number of other statements that the BJP leaders have made in the past, etc., etc. Is politicizing something to draw attention to it a bad thing? And if it is not a bad thing, then should not the DMK take action, even though Udhayanidhi Stalin is, as you say, the DMK. He is the sun that shines bright across the DMK. Fair enough. He might be. But does that absolve the DMK? And does it not strengthen the notion that the DMK really doesn't care about Hindu sentiments? It doesn't rate Hindus.
No. One second. Let's be very clear, Rahul. The DMK wins elections because of the votes of a substantial proportion of Hindus. So they know that this rhetoric is not going to cost them votes. In fact, it plays to the gallery.
You're not answering my question. Forget about what they believe, what they think. I'm asking you on an issue of principle. I'm not asking you, sir. I'm asking you on an issue of principle. You said it is being clearly politicized. What's wrong? Hathras, for example. Let's just analyze this for 30 seconds. When the horrible crime happened in Hathras, when there was talk that that crime was being covered up by the state administration, the entire opposition landed up. They literally were tripping over themselves to get into Hathras. And people, the BJP said, oh, they're politicizing it. And you said, what rubbish. This is a search. I remember this. This is the quest for the truth, and they should allow these people to go into Hathras, etc., etc. Politics is part and parcel of raising an issue. Is it not, Dr. Raman?
No, that is absolutely fine, Rahul.
So fine. So set that aside. Then I'm asking you, the inaction by the DMK, is it significantly suggestive of the fact that they don't rate Hindus? It's a very simple question.
No. They know that the Hindus who vote for them will continue to vote for them, and it's not going
now
to cost
look at the dichotomy, viewers. Had this been a BJP person saying this against a person of the minority community, what would the likes of the left have said in this country? They would have said they don't like Muslims, they don't want Muslims to be equal stakeholders in our society, therefore they say this. But when it comes to the other lot,
asking that question to the Hindus.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Continue to vote for this party.
I don't know. Maybe they won't. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know what is happening on the ground. But anyhow, Sanju Verma,
Tamil Nadu is
the reaction has been tonight.
78% Hindu.
No, fair enough.